Hello, friends, and welcome into NFL Daily Power Rankings Edition on this fine Tuesday morning, presented today by True Classic Tees. If you're trying to find a shirt that actually fits you properly around the shoulders, the arms, the abs, or pretty much anywhere, make sure you're using a True Classic Tee. 25% off your order at trueclassictees.com/chat when you use promo code chat. Now, after you guys watch the whole video, don't get 10 rankings in and try to sound off. I want you guys to grade this week's power rankings. It'll be the pinned comment, by the way, where to vote, but you got to watch all the way to the end, or at least to number 2, and then you can do the math, right, to figure out how we did this week. But I want you guys to grade the power rankings for us this week in the comment section. We begin at number 32, as we always do, worst to first. The only winless team left in the NFL, the Houston Texans, were almost a unanimous last-place team. One voter, who shall remain anonymous, had the Carolina Panthers in there at number 31. I would still go Houston because they are winless, and I did go Houston because they're winless. Carolina was a very popular number 31 pick. They don't look good at all. The stat is they are 1-26, I believe, 1-24, whatever it is, in games under Matt Rule where the opposing team scores more than 17 points. He gone eventually. Number 30, the Commanders, as it's bad. 10 points. They didn't look very good against the Cowboys. It's not good at all for Washington right now. I think they're a pretty bad football team. These are 3 of the bottom feeders right now in the NFL. Who do you think, though, is the worst NFL team? Is it Houston, Carolina, Washington, maybe somebody else altogether? Sound off for me right now in the comments section. Number 29, the Las Vegas Raiders. They got off the schneid with a win. They are still only a 1-win team. I'll make note where relevant. If teams made a big jump, the Raiders moved up 2 spots. The Commanders dropped 3. The Saints also dropped 3. They are number 28 this week on our list. Remember, they can't beat the Panthers. It's just not looking great overall. New Orleans, it's the lone win for Carolina. Saints, something's not right without Sean Payton. Go figure, right? The Steelers dropped 4 spots. They had a chance. To beat the New York Jets, who we'll get to in a little bit, but they could not come away with the win. They are up 10 in the fourth quarter, lose that game. It is Kenny Pickett time, though, in Pittsburgh. Now, we are a quarter-ish of the way through the NFL season. We're a month in, we'll call it there. So who wants an NFL mock draft? If you do, type in me in the comment section so I can show the bosses this is what you guys want on Wednesdays Live. If you want that mock draft, flood the comment section with me's. If we can get like 400 me's from everyone watching, or 400 total me's, vote from everyone watching right now, we'll easily get there. The Jets, our first 2-2 squad. They were pretty low previously. They were, checking my notes, 28, up 2 spots after a win over the Steelers. And one of your bigger risers this week, 5 spots up, the Seattle Seahawks. Is Geno Smith for real? I don't know about that one. But Seattle's been a lot more competitive than what I thought they were going to be in an NFC West that has a 2-win Seahawks team, a 2-win Cardinal team, a 2-win Niners team, and a 2-win Rams team. They are all 2-2. The Patriots stay exactly where they were, 1-3. There might be some concern about Mac Jones. He didn't go on IR, but now Brian Hoyer's banged up. Bailey Zappi season? Producer Jack's not feeling great about that one, our Patriots fan. The Falcons move up a couple spots after their win. They are now number 23. The passing game does not exist right now in Atlanta, but the running game does. Speaking of running games, the Detroit Lions, they were decimated by injuries this week. They could not come up with a win over Seattle. I was a bit surprised the Lions are ahead of Seattle on our power rankings, but they've had a lot of narrow losses, and this team should be getting healthier as the days and weeks go on. I think the voters, against Chat Sports AP poll style power rankings, everyone gets a vote. I think the voters are banking on that. Now, today's show is made possible by True Classic Tees. I'm wearing one right now because it's early in the morning. I was up early. I want to feel good so that I perform good and use good grammar, too, on air. And if you're trying to just feel comfortable, have a shirt that fits properly, feel confident whether you're at work, at home, at the bars, out on a date, whatever, use True Classic Tees. TrueClassicTees.com/chat. When you use promo code chat, which should be automatically put at checkout, but if not, use it again. 25% off with that promo code chat at TrueClassicTees.com/chat. The link will be in the comments section and in the description of today's video. Number 21, the Indianapolis Colts. I am very curious. They did drop a spot again this week, by the way. I am very curious where they would be ranked had they not beaten the Chiefs, because they'd have been right there with Houston, wouldn't they? But that's a big win for Indy. The Bears at number 20 overall. They're 19 last week. You lose against the Giants. You slide down. A lot less change as we enter the 5th week now of the NFL. Tennessee, though, up 3 spots to number 19. A very bad start. Maybe they're getting a little bit hotter here at the right time. Arizona stays exactly where they were. They are number 18. I'm still not buying Arizona, and neither are most of the voters. Yes, they're 2-2. The way they've gotten there has not been pretty at all, and that is exactly true for the Denver Broncos. They were number 11 because somebody had to fill that 11 spot. Like the 17-11 last week was kind of a narrow race, and it's something similar again this time around. The offense just doesn't look quite right. So 2 of the more disappointing early season teams, I think, Denver and Indy, teams that people thought were going to be obvious playoff teams. Now, maybe. They play on Thursday Night Football. No Javonte Williams. Maybe no Jonathan Taylor. Who you got? D-E-N for the Denver Broncos. I-N-D for the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know in the comments section. Jacksonville does slide down 6 spots as they drop to some of those other 2-2 teams. I was in on them. Not all the voters, however, feel the exact same way. The Browns slide down several spots as well. They are now at number 15. And the Giants actually jump up a couple of spots to number 14. The schedule gets much more challenging for New York in the coming days, but I think it's very clear this coaching staff is way better than whatever Joe Judge tried to put together. The Bengals up a singular spot. They were tied 14th last week. They're now number 13 as they beat a Dolphins team. I will make note of our voters, I think correctly, not all the way in on the Bengals. A very tough schedule coming up. And think about the final QB they played in all those games, right? Mitchell Trubisky, now a backup. Cooper Rush is a backup, right? You beat Joe Flacco, a backup. And I think if Tua doesn't get hurt, the Dolphins win that football game. It's 4 backup QBs they've beaten or played, and they're still only 2-2. It's going to get tougher for Cincinnati. Hopefully the O-line plays better. The Chargers, as banged up as they have been, that's a big-time concern for the voters. They are now number 12. And the Rams, back-to-back L.A. teams. They've been hovering around each other all year long. They are number 11. The Rams were number 7 last week, one of our more significant fallers this week in our power rankings, because they did not look good against the 49ers. And the Niners had issues against Denver. They now get another primetime game. The Niners bounced back in a big way. They moved up 6 spots with a huge win over the Rams. I still don't know what to make of either of these teams. Like the roughly number 19 to number 9 range. Like I think they could be playoff teams. Different value for all of those, of course. But I'm not sold on any of them. And I think that's reflected in a very tightly condensed rankings split. Now, if you want weekly power rankings, news, rumors, trade buzz with a deadline a little less than a month away already, and of course, live shows on Wednesdays, this is your one-stop shop. Hit that big red button and subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 9, the Dallas Cowboys. We are not that far removed from nobody here at Chat Sports, myself included, having any faith in them with Dak Prescott injured. They've since won 3 straight games, and their only loss against, not the best competition, is to number 8, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they stay at number 8. I think that feels about right. There is a bit of a gap from like the contender status, at least in the votings, even including number 7, Minnesota. The Vikings have done a good job this year. They have a big win over Green Bay, which I think some people view as a bit of a fluke in the end. Minnesota, it was a little dicey against the Saints, but they did get that win. So who do you think will win the NFC in 2022? Yeah, it is wide open. Even maybe more so than last year when any team that made the playoffs, we're being honest, minus Philly, not the case this year, obviously, they had a real shot to make a run. The Rams ended up being that team. There were a lot of close games. Could have gone the other way for almost every team in that playoff mix. I think it's the exact same thing this year. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. You've lost some very tough games against good competition. The offense, despite Lamar balling, hasn't been the most consistent. Maybe the return of J.K. Dobbins will boost things there. They are number 6 this week. The Green Bay Packers are number 5. Look, the passing game continues to have its issues, but it's tough to vote against Aaron Rodgers and a fantastic defense in Green Bay. They are the second highest NFC team. The Miami Dolphins now are number 4. There is some concern about Tua. That's why they're behind a team that they beat in the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are number 3. Don't blame me. It was the AP poll-style rankings. Most of the voters agreed in the end, by the way. The Tua concussion head injury is one that's certainly worth monitoring how that team fares without him. Number 2, the Chiefs. A very big back and forth in terms of who's 2, who's 3, who's 4. The Dolphins, there's a lot of disagreement on that side. I'm looking at my notes right now. The Dolphins were as low as 5. The Chiefs were as low as 4. The Bills, actually, no one had them below 3, but the Chiefs had more second-place votes. Who do you think is the better AFC team? Sorry, Ravens, I guess. MIA for the Miami Dolphins, BUF for the Buffalo Bills, or KC for the Chiefs. Of course, it's unanimous. The number 1 team in our power rankings, the only undefeated team left in the entire NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. That one should surprise absolutely no one. Okay, now we've gotten all the way through. So if you made it to the end, thank you. You guys are awesome. Now you can grade this week's power rankings in the comment section, the pinned comment to be exact, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know how you think the Chat Sports crew did this week.